An album a day is my exploration into the Korean music scene. This podcast will cover mainstream, indie, and some underground artists within the scene and provide both factual and opinionated commentary. The biggest benefit to sharing my thoughts this way is that it will hopefully expose you to more great music and exploration of your own.
Go ahead and hit record. This is the full album. Yes, I can hear myself in the headphones. It sound good? What? Oh God, here we go. Well, you know what? I'm not even ready.
You're tuned into an album a day. Show, start.
Hey y'all. I just decided to go ahead and keep that clip in the beginning instead of giving more of a coverage. Longtime listeners of the show know how I feel about ballads. And when it sounded like this May 2010 album was about to go in that direction, I wasn't ready. And I just wanted that genuine reaction there. Shout out to one of my buddies overseas. We're just going to go by some initials right quick. We're just going to go with JC. He helped me find the album. And then by the time everything got sorted out on there, I ended up finding the extended album on YouTube here in the United States. So that was a good moment. I appreciate his help and hope to see him soon once, the apocalypse is over. So, as I said, May 2010, we are in a time period that is, just a little over 10 years ago. And the sound of the bridge had me very, very fooled. Even the album cover had me very, very fooled. What you look at on the album, it looks very wispy, very willowy. And I don't even know if that's the best way to explain it, but it's a very light colored cover. And the three of them are sitting together in more formal attire than we usually see them in. Again, as I said, they had been making a transition in their appearance for a couple of albums. I just said fur. Wow. For a couple of albums. This one, they're in earth tones, and it just looks very romanticized, and it fits the theme. We are already familiar with the fact that K-pop is extremely thematic, and this theme has a lot to do with love coming and love going. So you have 6 tracks on this album. You have the intro, Love Is Going, which was the one that had me wrecked for a moment. It comes on so nicely. It almost sounds as if you're in a coffee shop, which is no shocker there, if that is where they got the background sounds from. So the ambiance of it comes on very quietly, and then all of a sudden you got him talk about, I love you, don't go. It's just like, no, I thought I was going to get trapped. Then the second track is called The End Is Coming. Then you have the third one, which is Even If Your Face Changes, which I found that very interesting because I'm like, wait, what? Like, do you mean it by the way that we are aware of South Korea having a strong commitment to cosmetic surgery, or is it something else? Then you have track number 4, which is Star, and it has Changmin and Jinwoon of 2 a.m. on it. Number 5 is Availability Period, and then the outro, which is named after the title of the album, The Bridge. And it's actually just an continuation. Continuation? It's early. It continues what was going on in track 5. It just increases the tempo a bit. This peaked at number 62 on the Korean charts. I don't have any sales data beyond that. Now, there were other projects that came out in between this EP. So going from the big hit website, Ehyun's page, we talked about the Golden Age. That was their 3rd full-length album. Then they had a 3rd single album called The Golden Age, Goodbye My Lover. There was a 4th single album, No One Cries Because They Want to Date. I don't know about that. I don't really know what the motivation was behind that 2009 title. It's more than likely something that goes over my head because I don't know all of the idioms and nuances of 2009 Korean slang, let alone current slang. I'm still getting shocked over the fact that Burger King is a thing of slang now. I'll talk about that just randomly in a moment. They also had Eun's first mini album, which was called 30 Minutes Ago. And then the fifth single album, Availability Period. Then they came and did the second mini album, The Bridge. So we already talked about the first one. It's just where, because they call this the second mini album in his listing of discography. Yes? Okay, they call it that. But when you go to 8's Wikipedia page, what you have is 2007, 2008, 2009 studio albums, 2010, 2011 EPs. So if this is the second mini album, are they counting it that way because the leader had one by himself? Help me with math. I'm not very strong. Let me try to figure that out right. Let me try to figure that out right now while we hear a message from one of my favorite shows.
Hey everyone, it's Victoria L. Johnson, the host of the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. In each episode, I talk to amazing Sailor Moon fans about their career, life, and of course, Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon fans are some of the best people on Earth, and they're doing such amazing things. Within our fandom, we have best-selling authors, manga and comic book creators, musicians, illustrators, animators, content creators, community builders, basketball players, makeup artists, and wrestlers. And I want to talk to all of them. If that sounds like something you'd like, sit back, relax, and shout, Moon Prism Power! Then come check us out. Thanks.
Yes, very grateful to have Victoria drop a message for all of my listeners. By all means, please go check out her amazing podcast. I had the privilege of being a guest on there and the first to talk about my favorite sailor, who I won't mention. You just need to go look for her episode and find the one featuring me. But I had a blast doing it. The show was amazing. The guest list has been insane. I very much admire what she's doing, and I hope that you give her the same support that you give me. So back to this album, The Bridge. Yes, the production sucks. It really does. And it's reflecting what was going on in 2010 in the scene anyway. If you did not have the major bucks behind you, which is shocking because Big Hit did at the time. So this was just a lack of wanting to finesse the sound, if you will. But in 2010, you had a lot of production that was heavily dependent on whatever loops and development you could make with the computer. I'm not saying this is something new. This is definitely not something new for American listeners or those who are familiar with American music. Then you know about Zapp and Roger. Computer music is not new. However, this was extremely under-engineered, if you will. And it created some very hollow and very basic production sounds in terms of the meat. The meat? Am I hungry? I don't think I'm hungry. In terms of the music, I put music and beat together. That's what was happening. There is in no way any issue with the way that the lyrics are organized so that everybody has their moment to shine. I've accepted at this point now, after this many albums in, that they are good singers. They're not like blow your mind singers. Ehyun is, but that's also because of that powerful voice that he has. But they are cohesive. There's bits of the rap that really takes me back to Lisang, which was a hip-hop duo for a good chunk of time. They were founded in 2002, and that was Heegun and Sungjoon, or you might know Heegun better by Kane Gary, if you are a big Running Man fan. And Gary was really known for his off-canter rap style, and it's alluded to a little bit in this. Gil's huskiness in Lisang is alluded to a little bit in the production of this. There are some choices made on, I want to say Star, I believe it's Star, that remind me a little bit of some of the vocal arrangement choices on 21's Can't Nobody, which also came out in 2010. So there were some things that were going on in music at that time that was just it's a little interesting for K-pop. I think they were just trying to find their footing on their own without taking too much from Western influence, which is difficult. But it wasn't produced as well as it could have been. So because of that, that's going to create a ranking that we've never had before. So K-pop fans, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being essential listening and 1 not worth mentioning, the A3Day ranking on this album is a 4.75. I just can't give it a full 5 because of the way that the production was. If somebody were to go back at this point and refine it, they might full-fledged change the track around completely, and it wouldn't be damaging. It really wouldn't be. Now, something that I said I was going to go back to mentioning, and let me be clear, even though this is the first time we had a 4.75, this is not the first time in the show's history we've had a 0.75. That honor belongs to 100%. Bang the Bush. It was a 2014 album. That bad boy got a 3.75 for me, and that was a stretch to give it that. So we only have 2.75s in the entirety of the show thus far, but hopefully we never go lower than Bang the Bush. All right. Even if your face changes, the first thought was, wait a minute, are we talking about plastic surgery? Sort of, kind of, but not really. In the lyrics, when you're looking at the Korean lyrics, and I am not going to read it, I have butchered enough of reading, and it is a solid sign that I need to be getting back into reading Hangul for at least an hour and a half every single day. It does no good for me to be able to see something and go, 힘들어도 견뎠잖아, and sound like that. That's not sexy. I just said you've endured the pain. And indeed, you have endured pain having to listen to me. Oh my God. 힘들어. It's difficult, hard time. So the track is basically saying, like, they're letting each other go. Like, hey, before you walk away, I don't think I can ever really erase you from my memories. I'm not gonna read it out loud. I was about to. Yeah, I think the translation of that is erase. I think so. But basically, I can't get you out of my mind. I'm always going to remember you no matter what happens, even if one's face changes. If something happens, I'll remember all of this. I'll remember everything. Look at me giving you that very American translation. Somebody please clap for me. I promise that I'm going to get better about reading my Hangul. It makes no sense for me to have this skill yet still read at a kindergarten or first grade level. That's humiliating. It's a reflection of a person who moved back to the United States from Daegu, stopped reading because I needed to make an emotional distance from my beloved country that ain't even my country. And now I can't read well. It's so unattractive. So I'll work on that and we'll get better at that. The album, you can find this one, luckily. Could I put any of it on the hashtag A3Day Spotify playlist highlights thing? I got 2 things on there so far that I could find. Hopefully I'll be able to find something for the final episode, which will be the 8 last album, which is also called 8. It was the last one they did. That'll be the final album of this season, as well as the final thoughts of this season. And then we're going to take a very much needed hiatus and come back a little later for season 4. Wow, time is moving. All right, I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye, y'all.
Your favorite foreign Korean music historian exploring all the industry from A to Z.
There are sponsored ads and social media hashtags, but this show is truly supported by the efforts of my McGualas, the most amazing fan base a little entertainer could ever have. Special shout out to my Patreon patrons, the student body, and the scholars who keep my vision of becoming your favorite Korean music historian exploring all the industry from A to Z a real thing. If you're interested in supporting the growth of this podcast and supporting content, please visit patreon.com/multifacetedacg. And for as little as $1 a month, you can get in on the magic too. Interested in continuing your support at the free $99 price? I love you for it. You can still engage with the show when you retweet, repost, and share the show and use hashtag A3 and the word DAY. You can also tag MULTIFACETEDACG to get my attention. And if you're listening to this podcast on a platform other than Anchor.fm, please leave a few stars or a review to keep things growing in the right direction.